Riverdale sometimes deals with disturbing and problematic topics. We provide a list of content warnings in the episode description. Hello and welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And we have 2 new episodes of Riverdale for you.
Yes, we do.
I am always so tempted to say Pretty Little Liars. I said Pretty Little Liars for so long, and it's weird because I didn't do this with Veronica Mars. Then again, we weren't calling the podcast Dead Ends.
No, and we'd taken a break in between them.
That's true. It was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
We used to be friends. If you know, you know. If you don't, you
Walked
don't.
right into it.
I just took us there.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 episodes of Riverdale for you, and guess what? They're like real episodes of Riverdale.
I know.
It feels like the television show Riverdale. I don't know if you remember it. We used to watch it on the show, but sometimes when you watch it, it doesn't feel like that. We've had a good run these last couple episodes.
Yeah, definitely.
Nothing beats the Heathers, though. I'm sorry, we've peaked. If you're expecting anything better to happen, it probably won't. You're going to have some good moments.
That's right.
You're going to have some good moments. You're going to have a good moment coming up next week. Next week, there's going to be a good moment, I think.
Yeah, because it's the end of the season.
I'm pretty sure. Is that when it happens? It has to, huh? I might be setting you up for failure again.
Crap, I can't remember.
I don't either.
But yeah, I mean, we're getting real episodes with we're actually focusing on what the hell the mystery is that hasn't really been around, but now coming back around.
And everyone's plotlines connect.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that Veronica and Betty talk to each other, which is great considering Betty's living with Veronica, and Betty and Jughead talk to each other, and Archie and Veronica talk to each other. Archie doesn't really talk to Betty and Jughead much.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, there's a couple moments, you know what I mean? But
I mean, he's been talking to Jughead in previous episodes.
That's
just
true.
Not
That's
Betty.
true. Yeah.
So yeah, this span of 5-6 episodes that we've got 6 episodes, I'd say.
They're friends.
Yeah, exactly. They figured it out at the end of the season, but good God, it was rough going in the middle there.
Yeah.
Oy. Well, we can just get right into the episode, shall we?
Yeah. Let's jump in.
All right, Chapter 54, Fear the Reaper. This fandom's this episode's title comes from all these things, but it's Don't Fear the Reaper is what they're referencing. Mm-hmm. So Blue Oyster Cult's song, and then a few other songs that have also pulled the same title. This is also the final appearance of Luke Perry on this episode. This is the last one they filmed before he passed away. So as we get into the next one, then you notice Mary Andrews back and being like, "I'm gonna stay in Riverdale." You know, that's Molly Ringwald taking on a bigger role in replacement of Luke Perry's death.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning of season 4 is when they'll address it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in the first episode. That's not it's not a huge spoiler plot wise. They do a special episode where they write off his character.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important that they waited because I think you need to finish the story. There's too much going on.
Yeah.
That if you did it now, you wouldn't be able to fit everything in, and you wouldn't be able to do it service. And I doubt they had a concept for how they wanted to do it yet. And you don't walk around hoping, I assume, I don't know, I've never written a television show, but you don't walk around with ideas for how you're going to write people off when they actually die versus writing someone off because they're going to do something else.
Right. Yeah. And from all, I mean, it was an accidental death. So I think this came as a big surprise to everybody.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry. It was, because I'm trying to remember. I'm like, oh God, I got that wrong. I'm going to confirm what
I thought he had a heart attack.
I believe so. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I was pretty sure, but I could
Yeah, he had a stroke.
Oh, stroke.
Yeah. Oof. So either
scary.
way. Yeah, things you're not planning for, but yeah, to your point, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the impossible transition into a summary. FP and Jughead find a note left at their house inviting them to play G&G to determine Princess Jellybean's fate. Is Princess Jellybean a character on Adventure Time?
Oh, I don't know.
No, it's Princess Bubblegum. Is that what it is?
I've only watched 2 episodes of Adventure Time, and I was very high, which is the only reason why I was watching it. Someone else put it on, and I was like, I am not sober enough to change the channel. Not that I thought it was bad, but you know what I mean? I did not have opinions.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I watched maybe a couple episodes. I just thought the little Game Boy guy was really cute.
Yeah.
So...
I did think that was adorable. And I think I spent the whole time watching it going, who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Hey.
Who's that?
Yeah.
That's cute.
Exactly.
This is what stoner boys were doing.
Mm-hmm. And
Like
kids,
that's because that's who
apparently.
I was watching it with. We're like stoner boys.
Mm-hmm. They were like, oh, this is kind of cool.
They were like, we're gonna watch Adventure Time, and I was like, okay.
Or you just kind of like, what's going on here?
I was like, what is it? And then they turned it on, and I was like, oh, this is like cute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cute and weird.
Yeah, I think every time a guy said he wanted to watch a cartoon, I was afraid it was going to be Rick and Morty. And I was just like, I think like really stoned out of your mind is not for me. Like when I wanted to be watching Rick and Morty,
Yeah.
because I didn't watch it already. Does that make sense? Like I did not want to. I was like,
I don't know.
I don't trust men in their opinions.
And
From a very young age, I've never trusted men in their opinions.
and you were right.
Yeah,
You know, history has borne out.
I just didn't feel right.
No, I watched it for a few seasons.
Oh, I've caught episodes. I remember you watched it,
Mhm.
but I just I was like, I don't like it.
No, not great.
It wasn't for me.
Gladys comes in after.
Meanwhile, this is.
Oh, 100%.
That wasn't for me, but let me take you on this strange journey.
This is much better than Rick and Morty. Gladys comes in after them, and they tell her the news. Everyone from the fight is gathered at Riverdale General, including Randy's family. The doctor comes out with a bad outlook for Randy. Archie tells the doctor that Randy was juicing, but Elio denies that Elio did anything, and he blames Archie for Randy's death. The Jones torture Kurtz, but he won't tell them anything. Jughead advises if they play along, they'll get Jellybean back. Because, these people, these obsessives, they play by the rules. If they can't break the rules.
Okay, this is like my biggest pet peeve in the world. So this episode has two things, and I kind of wrote them in my notes, but I'll just address them now. One is the Elio shit. Like the first time we watched this episode, I was like, who's going to believe Elio? And now that we live in the world we live in now, and I've like, my eyes are very open. Not that they weren't before, but I'm just like, oh, everyone's going to believe Elio. It's fine. Like, that's just, we live in a shitty place.
Mm-hmm.
And then also this like, oh, I trust these other players to play by the rules.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's a metaphor for our current world.
Mm-hmm.
Look around. If you live in the United States, just, you can put that one together. Even if you don't, you can put that one together just based on context clues. It's bad.
It's bad out here.
It's bad out here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Just the shucks of the good guys is that they're always going to trust that the bad guys are going to play by the rules because they have the moral high ground. I don't want to be morally high anymore.
That's right.
I'm going for the knees.
Sorry, Michelle, we're going low.
I'm going low.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see if we can take it to hell.
Yeah. Let's do it.
To the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry. Just,
no, you're good.
Just wanted to get that out.
No, you're 100% right.
Had to get it out.
Mm-hmm. You're on the money. They tell Kurtz that they'll play, and then Kurtz sets up the board and distributes their roles. FP is plays the Deadeye, as usual.
Sorry, one more thing. Could you imagine your child's kidnapped and someone says you have to play this board game with me to get them back? And you say yes? Take away his phone. What do you mean? Like, how is he going to have any issues? I don't understand this at all. But it's why...
They do have to find out where she is.
Yes.
And supposedly she is in a situation where...
But she's with Ricky.
They don't know that. We know that.
We know that. They don't know
that
yet.
They don't know that she's with another child.
Oh, because I was like, she's with Ricky. Like, Jesus Christ. I guess it's... Yeah. I don't know.
And I would say also, if she was with Ricky and I knew who Ricky was, I might be like, yeah, he might kill her. Tried to kill Archie.
I don't know. I think Jellybean could take Ricky.
I didn't say that. I'm not
worried about Ricky killing Jellybean. I'm worried about Jellybean killing Ricky, to be honest.
I mean, there's a reason he ran off.
She's got her slingshot.
That's right. Her child weapons has established last
Not
episode.
Ricky, though. He's got a knife.
Oh, yeah. No, he's using adult weapons.
He's not child-coded.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So they tell Kurtz they'll play. Oh no, there's a delay that's happening in the headphones.
The episode.
Oy. All right, we're gonna take those off. I can watch the waveform at least there, but oh, good lord, it like happened in the middle there where it like something happened where it changed and I all of a sudden had like a few second delay. That's awful.
I don't like the headphones.
Usually it's fine. Like it's like maybe a half second. So like it's like really close, but it extended this time. I don't know what changed. Okay, so they tell Kurtz they'll play. Kurt sets up the board and distributes their roles. FP as Deadeye, Jughead as the Hellcaster, and Gladys as the Alchemist, because she's the drug dealer. Archie tells Fred he knew Randy was juicing and thinks it's his fault for not forfeiting, and he's done fighting. Betty asks Hiram to transfer her father, the serial killer, to his new prison, and he promises to see what he can do, which is Hiram's catchphrase. Now, why?
Is this the first time Betty and Hiram have ever really had a conversation?
I think you're right. I don't think they've ever talked like just one-on-one before.
Yeah, like she called all the G&G parents in for that meeting. But
right. Yeah, I mean, she's with Veronica here, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think this is so dumb. Betty would never do this. I'm just like, I trust my dad. We should move him. Move him for good behavior.
Yeah.
Why would she feel sorry for him?
I think it's because she goes and visits him and it's a long ways away. Maybe? She's like, oh, if we move him closer, I can see
But why
him.
would she believe that he wouldn't? I don't know.
I mean, I don't think she thought he was going to escape.
I guess that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't assume that most people can escape.
Yeah, but I guess just the sympathy in general is like.
But she's
so
going
ridiculous.
and talking to him.
I know why. I've been asking that all season.
Yeah, I mean, I think once we've already accepted that plot line, it's kind of like, it is what it is.
Well, I haven't accepted it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mad Dog calls Archie to get rid of the drugs he gave him because police swept Elio's gym for drugs. They both rush to the El Royale and get the drugs right as police bust in, and Archie's like, well, Mad Dog had nothing to do with it, but they both get arrested for their trouble anyway.
What's crazy, too, is I'm like, why'd you keep them?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you get rid of them?
Flush them.
Yeah. I think they were, where were they going?
They were leaving with them, I guess?
I don't know. The Jones all take turns picking a bag to see if they get, as part of the G&G game, to get black or white marbles. Gladys draws one with black and therefore has to spill her secrets, and she tells everybody that she's the new Fizzle Rocks dealer in town. FP feels betrayed by both
first
her.
she's not going to.
Yes.
First and then Jughead's like, Jelly Bean's life. And I'm like, damn, Gladys just like caves.
Oh, yeah. Gladys is a completely different person in these episodes. FP feels betrayed by Jughead as well and screams at Gladys that there will be a reckoning. Josie leaves a voicemail for her dad, who's apparently going to be in town, asking if he wants to have dinner. Toni tells Betty that the farm is gearing up for Alice's wedding to Edgar, and after the wedding, they'll adopt Juniper and Dagwood. Veronica pays Mad Dog and Archie's bail. They see on the news that Elio's stating that Randy tested positive for PEDs, and they were supplied by Archie. Veronica promises to help them and get back at Elio. She has them both do drug tests. Veronica announces to the news afterwards that their drug tests came back negative. Randy's family comes to the press conference and blames Archie. Archie steps down to try and apologize and gets slapped by Randy's sister, who's essentially the matriarch of the family. Evelyn opts out of getting her meningitis vaccination at school because the farm doesn't believe in them. A+.
Anti-vax, raw milk. It was all right there.
It's all right here. Betty gets the idea.
Remember when those were fringe concepts? Remember when this was something that gave us a warning that, hey, this person's a bad news?
Mm-hmm.
It still is.
Yes. Yeah, this was also a big thing happening there in this time. Betty gets the idea to check her file, so breaks into the school later that night, and she finds all the schools where the last school where Evelyn supposedly transferred from, and takes pictures of all the files. The Jones receive requests to target Pops, and they have to rob it so Kurtz can get money to leave town. Archie visits Veronica at night, upset about Randy's death, and he wants to help Randy's family. She offers to host a benefit concert in Le Bon Oui, and she'll coordinate with Josie on it. Betty, it's so funny that there's dissolution of Archie and Josie at the end of this episode because they're practically not dating.
Mm-hmm.
Betty calls Evelyn's old prep school and finds out she was the same year she was a junior, the same as she is here at her previous school, and she has also called 5 previous schools where she was also listed as a junior. She meets with Miss Weiss and tells her that Evelyn has repeated her junior year for a decade at different schools, and Miss Weiss says she'll make inquiries into Edgar. The Jones family preps for the robbery. Josie meets with her dad at Pops and asks to go on tour with him. He doesn't know, so she asks him to see her perform that night. The Jones come in serpent masks and rob the register, but Pops pulls a shotgun and fires at FP and hits him. Jughead then rips off the mask to get Pop to back down, and Jughead and Gladys run off. They arrive back at the house, and Jughead knocks Kurtz out cold with a single punch, Archie Jr. here, and they plan to move to a new locale to evade the cops. Betty tells her dad the good news, moving to Hiram, that he's going to be moving to Hiram's new prison, and the bad news, the twins are going to be adopted. Hal says you can talk to someone who will help you stop this. Cut to Betty visiting Penelope for help. Betty and Penelope then visit the farm, and Penelope negotiates that she can leave with Dagwood, and they would be able to keep Juniper, and then she calls Dagwood Jason Jr. and is like, that's as good as we're going to get, Betty, goodbye. That's the last we see of them. Elio visits Archie at the El Royale, tries to give Archie $50,000 for winning the Gilded Gloves, and offers to make him rich if he joins up with him. Archie says no. The G&G gang has moved to the bunker. Jughead wonders how they can stay in Riverdale any longer, and Gladys is like, we have to move on. Jughead says FP and I are happy here, but you destroyed that happiness. Veronica tells Josie and Archie that Randy's family isn't getting insurance money from Elio, and Josie's set will be a benefit for the family, and Archie runs off to settle things with Elio. Jughead wakes up Kurtz with a bucket of water. Kurtz then gives them their next challenge, which is a trial with the Cyclops. Josie learns her dad didn't show up for the set, and so she's sad. Archie finds Elio leaving his boxing gym. He asks for the check from the Gilded Gloves for the Ronson family and threatens him. He pins Elio to his car and takes the envelope. The G&G gang go to the old gargoyle lair and find Penny there with an eye patch because apparently Gladys took her eye.
An eye for an eye.
Oh, incredible. Man, the amount of pieces of and body parts that the Jones family have taken from Penny. Penny and Gladys must then fight with scythe. It's like we're in a Daredevil comic. Gladys gains the upper hand as they literally, there's a whole fight scene. And then Jughead stops her.
Set to back to black.
Yes.
As Josie's singing at Le Bon Nuit, thinking her dad's not there.
And then Jughead stops Gladys from just straight up killing Penny. And so Gladys instead stabs Penny in the leg. Josie sings Back to Black, like you mentioned, and finds her dad is in the audience after she finishes, and he gives her a standing ovation. Miss Weiss tells Betty that Evelyn is 26 years old and that she's Edgar's wife, not his daughter. Betty calls Toni to see about getting back into the farm. Jughead drops Gladys off at the emergency room because she had wounds from the fight. He then tells Kurtz to take him to Jellybean. Kurtz is like, I'll drive, and you have to wear this to cover your eyes. Josie's dad tells her that if she wants to be a musician, she has to want it more than anything. And she's like, yes. He's like, well, you can come on tour with me. Archie is able to meet with Randy's sister, who is essentially the parent for the family. He gives her money from the Gilded Gloves and the donations from the concert. Betty and Toni then go to kidnap Juniper from the farm. They get the baby and go to make their escape, but have to hide in the furnace room when someone is supposedly coming. It turns out that Toni led Betty directly into a trap. Tony's just like, I like it here now for some reason.
Because it gives me the family feeling that I didn't have anywhere else. And it's like, you didn't want the family feeling. You wanted to be in charge, Toni. That was the issue earlier. It's not, if you wanted the family feeling, you would have stuck with Jughead, but you want to be in charge. And Jughead did kick her out, and he was not cool about that. But, cool. I'm not defending Jughead, but that's a family dynamic. This is Crazy Town.
Yeah.
It pisses me off to no end that they do this to Toni and Cheryl. Yeah. Because these are two characters that you're just like, why the fuck would they ever fall for this? Like, Cheryl would never fall for this shit.
And that's why they immediately undo it next week, where it was just like, there's the slightest push, and Cheryl's just like, well, fuck these people.
But that Cheryl will give it, it makes her seem shallow for what she'll quit it over. And I'm like, Cheryl would quit it over them telling her what to do. She wouldn't have quit it over her not being prom queen.
And I think that is part of it, right? Well, we can talk about it next episode. Betty tries to break the news about Evelyn, and Alice is like, I already knew that. I'm excited for my throuple. They invite Betty to... the farm invites Betty to join them. I'm like, this next sentence is going to sound very weird after what I just said. Edgar says everyone she cares about is here, even your best friend. Kevin. She's like, wait, Veronica's not here. Oh, Kevin.
And not Archie and not Jughead. None of her the four people, no one central to the plot is at the farm.
No. She remembers the baby's levitating over the fire and is like, no, I gotta get out of here. Makes a break for it, and Edgar's like, catch her. Betty runs outside as everyone runs after her and then assaults her car. She gets in it and she's able to drive away. It's just a bunch of people in white banging on her windows.
It's so fucking weird. What were they going to do?
Funny.
Drag her back in?
I don't know. What was the point? Because it's all about them trying to
recruit her.
Exactly. Kurtz leads Jughead to a junkyard with 2 fridges, and he's like, Jughead, you have to choose which one Jellybean is in. Jughead then finds that both are empty, and Kurtz pulls a gun, and he's like, get in one. And Jughead won't until he hears that Jellybean's okay. Kurtz calls Ricky on his phone, and she's at the house with Ricky playing G&G, and she's like, what? Everything's fine. And then he's eventually...
Jellybean's like, everything's fine.
Yeah. And then Jughead gets inside one of the fridges. Kurtz tells Ricky to kill Jellybean and locks Jughead in the fridge by putting like a screwdriver through the little outside lock. Jughead is eventually able to break out of the fridge and finds Kurtz dead on the ground and the Gargoyle King behind him. And Jughead's like, I don't have time for this. I got to go figure out if Jellybean's okay, and runs off. And then he gets there and finds her at home, okay at home, and apparently Ricky just left immediately right after the call. Josie breaks the news to Archie that she's leaving the show, aka heading out on tour. She tells him that, hey, we actually, weren't endgame. This is fun. And they're like, ha, 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 it was. And then share one kiss.
Okay, one of my biggest pet peeves in the world is when people break up and kiss. So
right.
Because it happens in movies and TV all the time, and it is what it is. But I will never forget in high school. I've probably told this story on here before. One of my best friends calling me because her boyfriend broke up with her. She's like, and then he kissed me goodbye, and I was like, why the fuck did you let him kiss you after he dumped you? And she's like, I don't know. I didn't know how to say no. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
The funny thing with this too is just we don't like each other, I guess, that much, but we have nothing to hate each other for. What a happy dissolution.
Yeah, we just had fun.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if they'd been more like the sweet pea and her friends with benefits energy, but because they weren't, it's really weird.
We had this whole thing of of Archie being like, we should actually go steady, and then her being like, you know what, Red, you convinced me, and then now it's just like, well, okay, maybe not. Jughead tells Gladys that FP will be out of jail soon because Attorney McCoy proved he was just under duress when he was robbing Pops. Okay. Gladys says tomorrow her and Jellybean will be hitting the road, and Jughead's like, let Jellybean stay.
We're keeping the cat.
Yeah, exactly. And you should also stay and face the music. And Gladys is like, well, it'd be best if I disappear for a while because I also don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to Hiram's prison. And then once FP cools off, maybe we could try again. Elio vents to Hiram about his troubles at the gym. Hiram is apparently financing him and promises to help Elio get revenge on Archie because apparently he knew that Archie went to the hospital to try and kill him. He was just shutting his eyes. He was like, oh, I'm going to pretend to be asleep. Veronica hypes up Archie to continue his boxing journey and calls him the Red Hope because Archie, this entire episode I didn't write in my notes, because he supposedly killed Randy, thinks he's going to be like...
the Riverdale Reaper.
Yeah, that's what
Elio's trying to brand him as.
Yeah. And he's like, you know what? Thanks, Veronica. And he gets back to sparring with Mad Dog. Gladys breaks the news that Jellybean will stay in Riverdale, and then she says her goodbyes to everybody as if it's like a good thing. I don't know. That everybody's okay.
They're all cool with it. It's really fucking weird.
Betty visits Veronica, who is checking on her off screen, just so you know. And Veronica says there was an accident with the prison transport, and your father is dead. The end.
Okay.
Gonna see if this fixed it.
Let's start with the boxing of it all. So, are you good?
Yeah, you're good.
So, we've got the Archie and the Elio of it, but really we've got the Hiram and the Veronica of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because what are men, if not a pawn, for Hiram and Veronica to fight with?
Yes, absolutely.
You know what? Amen. Use men. That's what I got to say. Veronica.
Way to go, Hiram.
Not Hiram. I meant Veronica.
I know.
How dare you think I was giving a man credit? I thought we were married. But so Hiram does make a good comment though. He's like, with my daughter in his corner, which is something she tells Mad Dog and Archie earlier. She's like, with me in your corner, like, of course you're not out. Like, you know, we'll figure this out. He's like, with my daughter in his corner, you know, it's whatever. It's going to be hard. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. This is all just another way for Hiram and Veronica to have a dick measuring contest, but, you know.
Peeing race.
A peeing race.
And, you know, that's how it should be.
That's how it should be. what I do like about these with Archie is like Archie feels guilty and he didn't really do anything, but he did continue the match. Like he was like, no, fine, we're doing this. Like I'm not going to cave. And so like I feel like it's like a better way to play with the Archie always feels responsible for everything angle. Does that make sense?
Yes,
like
absolutely.
This is a lot more believable, and like then Veronica immediately helping him be like, okay, here's what we're gonna do so you can like feel better about this. But also like you don't pull yourself out of the game, you don't stop boxing, you don't stop doing what you want to do just because this person has manipulated you.
Yeah.
Because Archie really is like he's like something goes wrong and he gives up.
Oh.
And it's so interesting because like it's not when it comes to like justice, he's not like that. Like he started his weird boy group and he not a boy band. Yes. A group of boys who are shirtless and masks.
Oh my god, the red circle. I had the red scare. I'm like, that's not right.
Nope, not right. Not correct. But that's what they could have called him instead of the Riverdale Reaper, the red scare.
Red scare.
But yeah, I like that she's like helping, like they actually are growing together. Like it's actually like a nice story. I'm like, oh, this works for them and this makes sense. And like to break them up, to put them back together for that. I'm like I'm okay with this.
Yeah, no, I and I think also some of our annoyances in the past, so it's not dragged out.
Exactly.
It's good, tight, and it's a thorny thing, like because you could see like that he does literally have blood on his hands, so you can really like track why he would feel super guilty about this. And like you mentioned, he knew about the substances and things.
Exactly.
He didn't quite know that it would make him a rabid dog, but
Yeah, and I think it's really good. I think it's interesting. I also really like when Archie slams Elio against the car.
Yes.
I'm like, that's hot.
Yeah.
We should. Never mind. I just think that some people need
slamming.
Need to be treated that way.
Some people need slamming.
Some people need slamming.
That's right. Like a car.
Obviously, in fiction only.
That's right.
No, but I like that. I think it's a great way to show Archie taking control of the situation.
Yeah.
Grabbing he physically takes the money from Randy.
Yeah, and it's like you're nothing.
Yeah,
he immediately dispels all of Elio's power.
Exactly. He's like, "Oh, you think you're so big and strong? Like you have to travel with a pack. Like you bring security with you."
Yeah.
I don't need security. I am security.
That's right. I am the law.
Exactly. And then that Hiram's like, "Yeah, there's the two Archies. There's the one that saved me and the one that held the gun to my head." And I'm like, "No, that's the same kid."
Yeah.
That's Archie in a nutshell.
It's so funny that this entire time Hiram's like, I knew he was there to kill me. He put a gun to my head.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No, because Hiram was supposed to be passed out.
Yeah.
So we know now that Hiram was just pretending.
He's just pretending to be asleep, I guess, the whole time.
Because is he the one? No, Hermione organized for the floor to be cleared, right? Yeah, so he would get killed.
Yeah, I think so. Was that then that she organized that too?
Yes.
Okay. So those are the two times she tried to get him killed, that and when he was shot by FP. Well, whoever she hired for the first one didn't.
It was wait, no, sorry.
Who tried to shoot him the first time that Archie got? Oh, it was Minetta.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. He didn't.
Because I was getting confused in my head when she got shot at thanks to Hiram, and that was Tallboy.
It's hard to remember with all the bullets flying in the Lodge family.
I know.
So we've got that. Then we've got the G&G game with the Jones. G&G with the Jones. Like a family game night.
That's right.
It's a family game night. And whose family game nights don't end in robbing a local diner?
It's so good. I love them going on their little Jumanji adventure.
Their family quest.
Yeah, they're it's really fun. I like this as a plot line for them of being like, oh my god, it's the oh no, Yeah, like where like I like a plot line where it's like someone has to do something because like they're worried about what might happen. So they're under
Yeah.
duress and they have to like do something that's like super outside of their comfort zone. I'm just trying to think of the freaking Chris Evans movie where he's on the cell phone, but that's not quite the same thing.
Oh God.
Cellular. Wait, cellular?
Is it cellular?
Oh,
It
I'll have
doesn't
to look this up. But I like that as a premise a lot. I think it's a lot of fun and very tense.
Yes. I also really love that during this is when Josie's talking to her dad and Pops, and she's like, do you see why I have to get out of this town?
It's such a good beat. It's
so
funny.
Penny Peabody's back because she's like
So funny.
she's like a cold sore. She never really goes away.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Once you got it,
You got him for
you're gonna get
life.
flare-ups.
So Penny Peabody's back
Without an eye,
with one eye.
and they have to do a weapons fight.
Yeah. And then Jughead stops his mom from killing her, and I'm like, at this point, why?
Yeah, you're just gonna keep maiming her.
Yeah. She's like a cicada. She's gonna come back.
That's right.
And then Jughead, basically throughout the day, Jughead's like, I gotta take, my dad goes to the ER, my mom goes to the ER. Like,
Yeah.
his family's dropping like flies.
The Jones have the worst day.
They have the
Other
worst,
than Jelly Bean,
well, the
who's
worst
like-
night. Oh,
That's
the
true.
other thing I was going to say about this is the timeline of this episode's funky because what night is this happening
Oh,
on?
right.
Because
Mhm.
this is happening and we don't see Jughead anywhere else in anyone else's scenes. But those scenes are happening during the day and at school, and like when Betty's not getting when she's getting the vaccine, that's at school. When
Yeah, then it cuts back to night.
yeah, when Betty runs away from the farm, it's at night, but that's the only like night we see. I don't know what night this happens and like what happens with the rest of the time in this. It's like there's an episode of Pretty Little Liars where the timeline is different. It's a Spencer episode, I think, where she's at Radley maybe. And the timelines are very different for like what's happening in her plot line versus everyone else's.
Oh, and it's wait, is it the one where she is going along with it's when she's supposedly working with A
I think
and
so.
doing things, and then because you think it's all happening concurrently, but it's actually happening like in the past.
Exactly.
So they're like way behind her.
Exactly, or something like that. So it's like that, but it doesn't have it doesn't have a ripple effect on the larger plot.
No.
So it's like not as interesting.
No, it's just disorienting.
Like it's just disorienting. Yeah. So you're like, was it nighttime again? How long is this game happening?
The movie is called Cellular, by the way.
Oh, there you go. I do love that Jughead's like, we're keeping Jellybean. And then he's like, Mom, you should stay. And it is that pitiful, like, oh wait, they are just kids thing.
Yeah.
Where he's like, Mom, you should stay. And it's like, your mom's never gonna choose you. She always chose Jellybean over you.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? I don't know.
Yeah, it is funny.
It's interesting.
You know what she's doing? She is the opposite of a boy mom.
Exactly.
She's like, I had my daughter and I've never known love like this.
I do wonder if part of it is because Jellybean was so young and she raised her, like Jughead has too strong of a sense of morals and understanding of the outer world to have gone along with his mother's plans.
Right.
Whereas like Jellybean was younger and it was easier to manipulate her.
Yeah, or she understands it's something that Jughead wouldn't understand, as a boy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about that.
He doesn't understand the girl bossery involved.
I don't know if I'd call Gladys's journey girl boss. But
yeah, the fact that everybody's just like okay with Gladys at the end.
it's weird.
She did horrible things.
She literally gave guns to the ghoulies.
Yeah. And through her machinations got Jellybean kidnapped.
Yeah, and they have more drugs on the streets because of Gladys.
Yeah. She's ruined lives.
She's ruining lives. She's working hand in hand with the Gargoyle King, basically.
Yeah. It's the same thing of like, why are we all okay with Hiram? Or why is Veronica like wanting her family units to say so together? Because it's also like, these are horrible people.
Mm-hmm. Then we get to the farm. And one of my favorite things about this whole Betty plot line is Betty does her best work in overalls.
Yeah.
When Betty's snooping, she's wearing overalls. And I'm like, yes, this is like earlier in the season where I was like, Betty's got great overalls. I think that's important. I like that Betty figures out that Evelyn has been going to high school for like a decade. Like, could you imagine going to high school for a decade? A fucking decade? Like, I didn't want to go for 4 years. I didn't. I almost didn't graduate because I didn't attend school enough.
Sounds like hell.
I had a very high GPA And I made up my missing days with stupid after they call Saturday schools, but you really did them on Wednesday nights. And it was the whole, it was a weird town. It wasn't Riverdale, but
Whatever works.
yeah. But anyway, so I could not imagine.
Yeah. No, you know what it made me think of? It made me think of Edward Cullen going for high school for decades.
Exactly. But at least when you're like a vampire,
You have
like
to keep up.
but also like you have nothing else. Like you have a very long life.
Yeah, and he nice.
Evelyn, as far as we can tell, is mortal.
Right. So she's just going for nefarious reasons that we don't know yet.
To recruit kids for the farm.
Right.
It's Betty's theory.
That's true.
Yeah. Betty tells us.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of the bigger picture of the farm. But that's for another day.
Yeah.
Next week.
So then
Potentially.
Betty goes to her auntie, Penelope. And Auntie Penelope is like, I'll just take the boy. And the farm keeps the girl. And I find that interesting because who have been most of the people that have been recruited for the farm, except for Kevin and Fangs?
Mm-hmm.
Women.
That's right.
They prey on women. You don't hear about a lot of men, and you don't hear about any straight men joining the farm. They don't try to recruit Archie.
That's right. Only Edgar.
They don't try to recruit Jughead. Well, yeah, because then Edgar would have competition.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's how they do it.
That's it's interesting. What pisses me off the most, I think we've already talked about this though, is the Toni shit.
Oh, yeah, sorry, just real quick. I just Penelope disappearing with Dagwood.
Yeah, she's just like, I got Jason Jr. and I'm done.
I'm out. Peace.
Also,
we don't
this
see
woman,
the negotiation. We see nothing. She just leaves with the baby.
Also, we assume Cheryl's there.
Mm-hmm.
And Cheryl lets her mother take one of the babies. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
They did not do the work to show that Cheryl's this indoctrinated.
And also, or maybe Cheryl doesn't know. But
it
also,
seems like everybody knows.
This woman does not have custody of her own daughter.
So she doesn't actually have custody of Dagwood
So
either.
how would she get custody of Dagwood? Because like, who's going to give that woman custody of Dagwood?
She
just takes the baby?
Just takes the baby. Whoever holds the baby has the baby. Squatters' rights.
Yeah, and then Toni betraying Betty like that just pisses me off. Just fucking pisses me off.
When I joked that she didn't have enough character to like actually recruit her, it's like, oh no, it's the opposite. She doesn't have enough character, so they can make her do whatever she wants.
Yeah,
they want.
She's just a plot point.
Yeah, it sucks.
But yeah, that's really all I got for this episode. Do you have anything you want to touch on?
No. Okay. Even with all my complaints, this is the right kind of Riverdale lunacy.
Yeah.
Like I think Gladys having a knife fight, but like with the special weapons with Penny is like, all right, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, Penny Peabody.
Yeah. But that's it. Yeah. So should we just get into the next one?
Let's go. Let's do Prom Night.
Prom Night, chapter 55. Oh no, I scrolled all the way back to the top of my Google Doc.
The difference between this, I was going to cover for you and just talk, but you complained out loud. Just kidding.
I wasn't talking. I'll be quieter.
No, but the difference between this and like a Pretty Little Liars Prom Night is you knew at prom shit was going to go down.
Right.
And at this, like shit kind of goes down, but it's like not the same.
They aren't as good.
Where is the Hall of Mirrors?
Exactly. They aren't establishing the sense of tension as well.
No, I even like with the Jughead being locked in the freezer. He's only in there for like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and same with like they don't hold on the prom night. Whereas like Pretty Little Liars, it's like you get maybe 10 minutes up top of them talking about what's going to go down, and then it's a lot of them going around the crowd being like,
"Oh no," and then like dancing with their teacher.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it doesn't quite have the same sauce. But this one comes from, or the episode title comes from Paul Lynch's 1980 Canadian slasher film. I didn't know that. Of the same name, and its sequels. And then there was also a 2008 reboot of the same name. And the scene where Betty's attacked by the Black Hood is a reference to the movie.
I do think like if you were a horror person, that like it would be really fun to compare like how well these scenes are done in terms of like, you know, like how you compared to the Raid in the Raid episode. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately for all of you, I'm not a horror person.
For those of us who stuck with us through the PLL Original Sin in summer school, same thing there, I'm sure.
Exactly. Like, I think it's probably really fun for those people to be like, oh, like this is an allusion to this, or this is modeled after this. And, there's no real original stories. It's just how you put it together and your perspective on it that makes it unique. And so, like, it would be fun to, like, hear people's thoughts on that. I don't have any.
Yeah.
If you do, let me know. And if you're a chicken like me, that's okay too.
Yeah, I mean, this show is chock full of intentional homages. So,
yes.
and a lot of horror. So,
yes.
As with, I think, in a lot of his things. Which would make sense because his big breakout comic book was an Archie horror comic.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. The small that's Roberto Aguirre Caso is who I was referring to. The smoldering wreckage of the prison transport. Betty and Veronica show up and ask FP what happened here. Betty says the Black Hood is back and he's out there. And FP's like, no, he's dead. We found 6 bodies, which corresponds to the number of people in there, so it must mean he's dead, which we all go like, Betty's right. That's like you love it, but you're also just like, oh, that means that just because you have 6 bodies doesn't mean you have the right person.
Mm-mm.
Archie's mom comes home to Riverdale. Betty goes to Alice and tells her that he might be out there. Betty sees that Alice has a new infinity tattoo on her wrist. But this is where we get the incredible line when Betty goes to visit her. Alice goes, hello, Elizabeth, come to steal more babies. Queen of Petty. Jellybean tells Jughead about playing G&G and meeting the Gargoyle King, but she just sees it as pretend. She's like, yeah, we all wear the funny costumes and we have fun. And I'm like, this is the right way to be doing things. She's like, yeah, it's really fun because you get to play pretend. And her next quest was to get the gospel, and it's supposedly where the king keeps his secrets. Now, that's not the same for God. Veronica has a fight application for Archie to get him into the regional classic. He just needs parent sign-off. Mad Dog asked to join her roster, and she's like, maybe.
To people to manage, because he's like, you're managing Archie. Can you manage me?
And she's like, well,
she's like, I could start an enterprise.
Yeah.
She's like, actually, I'd like to manage the whole gym.
I hope she does, yeah. Or actually, managing. I know she invests in the gym, but Fangs comes in, and he's like, the bathroom's overflowing. And then Veronica's like, okay, this place is a sty, so we're going to fix it up with a little bit of my money. So I'm going to invest in the El Royale. Betty tells the main 4 that Hal must be out there, but nobody believes her. Great job. Cheryl comes in to campaign for Toni and her for being the prom monarchs. Veronica says, we still do things like that here? Betty asks Jughead to go to prom, and Veronica and Archie look around the room awkwardly.
I love this. This is what the show's supposed to be.
Yes, uh-huh. The fact that Veronica's like, we're actually having a prom, we're doing like high school things. And then also Archie and Veronica being like, I mean, who could we possibly ask? Mm-hmm. Archie asked Mary to sign his application. She's worried about boxing and doesn't want to support this as a future thing for him. I
mean, I kind of get not wanting your kid to get punched in the head.
Yeah, it's really dangerous. And like, it's much like football and things. I'm sure you leave boxing with like a number of ailments. It's a hard thing.
But she already lets him play football.
She said, she was like, I didn't want
excited. You to.
Uh-huh.
But she let him.
That's true. Maybe she feels differently now that she's no longer married to Fred. Maybe it was different then, Your father talked me into it.
It is interesting, though, because we spent this whole episode with her coming around on boxing. Because she's like, oh, you love it. Like, you're doing what you care about or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, like, the real message should have been, you're almost 18, and I'm not going to be able to control you, so I trust you to make your own choices.
Right.
Because that would have been, like, a harder hitting thing for Archie.
Rather than, like, boxing must be fine.
Yeah, I'm like...
You're like, I don't know about that.
I'm like, you know what? Like, he can make his own... Like, he's allowed to do it. Like, I think people should get to do sports. I don't want to watch them, but I think they should get to do them.
Like, not on my television.
Not on my TV. Not in my home. But you can do what you want. Mm-hmm. And so I just think it would be more interesting to have, like, that versus her just, like, they kind of make her come off as, like, a stick in the mud.
Yeah.
And then, like, we'll get to it when she does, like, the military thing. You're just like, why?
Oh, God.
Like, oh, I don't want my kid fighting, but I'll send him to go get shot.
Uh-huh.
Make it make sense. Uh-huh. Make it make sense.
Yeah, did we tell you this episode is brought to you by the United States Navy?
The naval recruiter is heavy-handed.
Uh-huh. Betty goes to the gun range and
once again,
shooting.
Is this allowed? Is a minor legally allowed to go to the gun range alone?
I have no idea. She gets a call from Dr. Curdle Jr., and one of the hands that they found at the scene of the crash supposedly matches her dad's fingerprints. And he's like, Hal is dead.
I do appreciate she goes to a gun range, though, because you know what? Like, if you want to shoot guns, I think you should have to go to a gun range.
Oh, yeah,
I think if we're going to have guns, go shoot them at a gun range.
I do think there's a fair amount of people that do.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fine. Don't bring them home. You have to leave them there.
Right.
I don't want your guns in my community.
Jughead and FP go to Junkyard Steve's, which is where Kurtz brought Jughead last episode. They found a school bus where the gargoyles were staying, and inside one of the seat cushions, Jughead finds the gospel, but hides it for himself without telling FP.
It is leather bound. The Gargoyle King spares no expense.
That's right.
The Gargoyle King is really committed, is what we learned throughout this episode.
Yeah. Archie gives Veronica his supposedly signed application by his mom. He asks what she's doing for prom and they could go as friends. And she's like, of course. They go to buy tickets and tell Cheryl and Toni. And then Cheryl's like, oh, well, you owe me a soda, Toni, for our bet. And then it's like, no, we're just going as friends. And she's like, whatever. Evelyn then tells Cheryl that she's prohibited from campaigning for prom queen. Evelyn says she has to make a choice between prom queen and the farm. And Cheryl's essentially just like, no, I don't. Betty and Jughead investigate the Gargoyle King, and he's worried about her because of Hal dying. Dr. Curdle Jr. texts with results from Kurtz's autopsy. Mary tells Archie that she talked to a naval recruiter for him and set up a meeting so he doesn't have to go and box just outside of not being part of the military.
She wants him to go to school.
Yeah.
And so she's like, if you go into the military, then you go to school, you go to the Naval Academy.
Yeah, you go to Annapolis. Dr. Curdle Jr. shows off Kurtz's tattoos of the gargoyle symbols that he got supposedly just a month ago. They mentioned he had to have these to ascend. Archie gets a Navy pitch from the recruiter, as we all do. It's, very on the nose. I see what you're doing here to this impressionable YA audience. Not impressionable, but just this YA audience.
Yeah, I could rant about this. We don't need to. You understand.
You understand that the U.S. lives in a military-industrial complex, and we're trying to constantly prey on the youth. Mm-hmm. They set up an exhibition match for the recruiter to see him. Betty and Jughead visit a tattoo shop, and the owner's like, yeah, multiple people came in to get that tattoo. First, this guy about a month ago, and then another guy about a year ago. But he didn't want any photos, because usually I take photos and put them up on the wall afterwards. The guy had blue eyes and sandy hair. And Betty thinks it's Edgar. We'll find out more later. Edgar sits Cheryl down to talk to her, and it's like, all right, none of this funny business about being prom queen because we are the one become many here.
Except for you, Edgar.
Exactly. And it's like, well, being part of the community requires sacrifice, and we might just have to take Jason away if you're prom queen. And Cheryl's like, oh, please don't take him away. Veronica meets with a loan officer and reassures Pop that it's to help Archie's gym. And he's like, I thought you weren't dating. She's like, as friends.
And business associates.
That's right.
Where's Reggie? I don't know. Dropped out of school.
Yeah, where is Reggie?
They didn't want to pay him.
Yeah, dropped off the face of the earth. Archie,
maybe he was doing something else, but...
Yeah, maybe he was filming... I lost it.
Whatever.
Archie gets weighed, and apparently he's over 6 pounds and can't compete in the regional fight. And Archie's like, I'll lose him by Friday. Betty and Jughead theorize over the new Gargoyle King, and Betty thinks that Edgar is a new Gargoyle King since the original one, and it is a new Gargoyle King from the original one when their parents were younger because Alice would have told him about that. And so then he assumed the identity.
That's a good theory, honestly.
It is, yeah. Archie tells Veronica about his 2 fights that are happening on the same day and comes clean on forging Mary's signature. Veronica promises to help. Edgar lectures to the farm about in old tribes that they would consume the elders to gain their wisdom. And he's like, that's a great, thank you for that question, Alice. And everybody's like, yeah. I'm like, what was the question?
I know.
It makes me think of Book of the New Sun. Betty and Jughead bust in to accuse him and tells him to take off his shirt to show off his tattoos. And everybody's like, yeah, you take off that shirt. We're going to catch you red-handed. And everybody's like, well, yeah, no, take off his shirt. Yeah. And he's just like, see, I'm just a jacked man. And everybody's like, oh, damn, we didn't catch him this time.
He's like that skinny fit, but I'm like, is he dehydrated? Because do you have that much muscle definition if you're not dehydrated?
Yeah, I don't know.
He looks dehydrated.
What was it? It was leftovers happening around this time? Because I feel like they had Justin Theroux pop his shirt off a few times in that. He's like, was very skinny Jack the same way.
Mm-hmm.
We just weren't drinking water in the tail end of the teens.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the vibe is. I mean, he looks great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like...
Right. That's why they have him pop his shirt off.
Yeah.
They concocted this whole tattoo scenario just to get his shirt off. Archie trains and gets to the proper weight. Jughead tells Betty she should be relieved Alice isn't marrying a second serial killer. Which I'm like, you know what? Fair point.
Yeah, that is a vibe.
Yeah. Jughead reads from the Gargoyle Gospel and thinks that the Gargoyle King will show up at prom, and they need to have Betty be the prom queen, aka the Griffin Queen. Bughead go to Cheryl to ask her to change the theme for prom to like Renaissance or medieval times, and she's like, whatever, I don't care. If it doesn't even matter if I can't be queen.
Which is a vibe. Also, what I find crazy about this episode is that all of these people, they changed the theme. This is the week of prom.
I know.
And everybody's got amazing outfits.
I know. Everybody does this in a week. You can't return prom dresses, usually.
Once they've been altered.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd have it altered already.
Archie and Veronica leave the regional match and get into her fancy old car. I was like, ooh, what's this? This is a nice car.
I know. You never see Veronica drive. Like, really. Like, unless it's like...
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden, like Betty driving around in the station wagon.
Well, because Alice left, so she's got the family car, you know?
Right. But, yeah, we're seeing the girlies out driving. The boys aren't. And it turns out Archie lost the fight and got really beat up. Veronica tries to talk him out of fighting the exhibition match because he's beat up, and she promises to smooth things over with his mom. And then Veronica comes into the LRL without him and says, Archie has food poisoning, he won't be able to fight. But then Archie comes in and he's like, I can fight. And he stumbles into the ring and then literally plants face first in the bottom of the ring and hits the deck. Mm-hmm. Bughead meet with the Pretty Poisons and the Serpents. Seems like Peaches is the new leader. Congratulations to Peaches. Mm-hmm. They ask for a truce to capture the Gargoyle King, and they say to look for someone potentially wearing a crown or antlers at prom. Archie wakes up and Mary's like, I know everything about what you did. And then Archie's like, well, I don't want to join the Navy or go to college. I just want to fight. And Mary's like, I'm thinking about your future. Veronica goes to leave for prom and Pop says he found something out a few months ago that he should have told her and needs to tell her now. He's just been like, ooh. Prom night. Betty drops off votes to Peaches to make sure that she's the prom queen, even though she's supposedly running unopposed. Veronica tells Archie that she doesn't actually own the diner. Hiram tricked her and gave her a fake deed and kept the original. This also includes Le Bon Oui, so everything that she's been doing has been going back into his pocket. She says, I'll manipulate him, we'll get out of this mess. Out of our mess. And he's like, oh, you said our mess. And she's like, well, would you like to join forces? And he's like, yeah.
She treats him like an equal, unlike Reggie.
Mm-hmm. Cheryl, that is a really good point.
Thank
Poor
you.
Reggie.
I know.
Cheryl and Toni dance, and Cheryl says being a farmie is making a whole lot less sense now that I can't be queen. A stranger gives Betty a note from the Gargoyle King, and she has to go alone to where the original crew they originally cited the Gargoyle King.
Where it all began, I think. It's like
Oh,
like
yes,
when her mom didn't drink from the cups.
Yeah. So Betty leaves. They announce the prom queen as the Serpents and Pretty Poisons bar the door. They announce that Betty is queen, but then they find out she's not there. Betty walks down the hall to the girls' bathroom and finds the wall scribbled with graffiti, and one of the mirrors says, flip for your fate. Flip. And the sink has 2 cups, just like when Alice was young, and Betty's like, no, I'm not going to do this. And leaves.
Me too, girl.
I love that so much. So she's like, hell no. And then finds the Gargoyle King in the hallway. She's like, I did what you asked, and like pulls out a gun and asks who he is, but then gets tackled by the Black Hood, who now has a hook for a hand. Betty runs
into the Black Hook.
The Black Hook, that's right. Betty runs into a classroom and finds a girl dead on the ground, and the Black Hood breaks in, and she's able to fight him off, and then runs to the locker room, and then finds another dead body, and she's like, Jesus Christ.
How many people did he kill in this episode?
At least 3. Betty escapes and hides in the understairs closet where Jughead used to live in, and then finds another dead body, but this one doesn't have a head. She holds the door shut as Black Hood tries to break in, but then suddenly it stops. And after a few seconds, there's a knock on the door, and it's Jughead. Betty says the gospel was a setup to get her alone with her dad, and FP Jughead and Betty wonder if the Black Hood assume that the Black Hood and Gargoyle King are now working together. Mary tells Archie that she'll stay in Riverdale so he's not alone while Fred's gone. She says she's there to support Archie in his boxing as long as he does it right. Betty warns Alice about Hal being back and that he's upset about her marriage and the twins' adoption. And Edgar's like, well, you know, you could stay here. We could offer you protection. And she's like, fine. The end.
Okay, let's start at the end.
Okay.
Betty agrees to stay with the farm. Is this out of fear of being unsafe? Because she could stay with FP and Jughead, and that's the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it to get into the farm? Or is it just because she's like, I don't want my mom to get killed by the Black Hood, and she's like being a good person?
Mm-hmm. Or is it just Edgar?
Do you think she's just there for Edgar because he took off his shirt?
That's right. Yeah, I think it is a matter of like, well, he kind of does have a point.
But
it's like
how secure is it? She's broken in twice, 3 times. She walks in the front door often and stole a child.
She stole a child. Well, but that was all a setup.
No, but the second time, or the first time, I mean, she came in with Penelope and they took a child.
Well, they negotiated. That was a negotiation. So they were welcomed in.
She's stolen files.
She has stolen files. So one ready to go, one with a caveat, and then one was just welcomed with open arms. So yeah, maybe not the safest place.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I guess, where is she living? Is she just living alone?
She was living.
Or she's at the lodges.
Yeah.
No, the lodges is way safer.
The lodges is way safer.
Way safer. I take everything I said back.
Yeah, you're living at the Pembroke with Veronica and Hiram Lodge.
It's Hiram Lodge. You really think you're going to get in there?
Yeah.
Without being like, one of the gangs?
Yeah. No.
Without
no
being
way.
Papa Poutine? Small Fry. That's what it was.
Small Fry.
And Small Fry had to really like bust his way in.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
I
I
just
don't think the Black Cook has it.
I don't either.
Not like Small Fry.
No. So we know the Black Hood and the Gargoyle King are working together. At least right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is this all about Betty and her mom? Because like the flashbacks in the bathroom are Alice not flipping for her fate, and then Betty not flipping for her fate, and both of them making that same choice. But it's because Alice was pregnant, and
she was like, "This is weird."
Yeah, and didn't know what was going on, and Betty's just like, "Fuck this."
Mm-hmm.
It's also interesting because it shows us Alice back when she was like being her normal self, and so like how far Alice has devolved into a different person. Because Alice would have never given into any of this shit.
No,
and now
not at all.
Now she's part of the farm, and she's marrying a cult leader, and she gave away all of Betty's money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of her worldly possessions to the farm.
Mm-hmm. It's just, what's the tie-in there is interesting. Like, is it all about Betty and Alice? I mean, I know because the show has to center on our characters, but the Black Hood is so Betty-centric. It was also a little bit Archie-centric in terms of like, because of his dad.
Oh, right. But like then having it layer on top of the Gargoyle King recontextualizes all of it.
And the Gargoyle King is a little bit more Jughead-centric, but it all still comes back. It always comes back to Betty.
Mm-hmm. And the whole thing when they're reading the gospel and they're like, oh, that the Gargoyle King's going to do this at prom. It's like they make the assumption that Betty is the Griffin Queen. So like even the tracks being laid are all about Betty.
Mm-hmm. It's just very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I also like early in the episode, Betty foreshadows this because she connects the Gargoyle King to her dad. Like she compares the two when she's talking to Jughead. She's good. Like, she's comparing like, oh, he's like this. And that's when Jughead's like, oh, do you need to take a break? Like you've had a lot go on. And but she's correct. Like, because they're obviously like, it's good little foreshadowing that they are in cahoots.
Yeah, that's good.
I really like.
And also that's a good word.
Cahoots.
That's right.
I do love cahoots.
Mm-hmm.
Alice's infinity sign tattoo, it's a little late for that. That would have been a good 4 or 5 years before that. I'm like, Alice, babes, don't be behind the time and drinking raw milk.
Right. I wonder what it like is supposed to. I mean, I guess that they're all together in Infinity, but I wonder what the farm context is.
Exactly.
Because very different from when we were in college.
Yes. Or even high school. I feel like those first became popular in high school.
So they might even be a decade late.
Yeah, I knew so many girlies with infinity sign.
But she's even like, it's like I treat it as my ring.
Exactly, my engagement ring.
Yeah.
Let's talk about prom and Cheryl. Cheryl Blossom is being told she cannot run for prom queen. And originally the theme was fire and ice, which is very Cheryl coded.
Mm-hmm.
She was, purged in fire, reborn or in the ice or whatever the fuck it was ice and then fire.
Yeah. Reborn in the ice and purged through fire.
Exactly. Or she died and then was reborn in the fire. She died in the ice and was reborn in the fire.
There you go.
regardless, metaphor notwithstanding, them just being like, you can't have this, and her being like, sure I can, and then them threatening to take away Jason, I think is a really good way of highlighting like the type of control like the farm has over people and like what that means. And so it makes you go, okay, what would a character like Cheryl do? And she's either going to try to find a way to like free Jason from whatever it is that's happening, and you'd hope by that find the truth, or she's going to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's Jason, it's harder. And then Toni is just there. Toni already has 1 foot out now, but she's the one that caught Betty. Like, make it make sense.
It's so annoying.
If they had just left Toni the way she is, and even if she had said, no, I can't get you in to get the baby, or like,
or like, I'm sorry, Betty.
Yeah.
Like, I had to do this.
Exactly. But instead, it's not that. I don't know. It's really weird.
No, it's super annoying because then it's just extremely wishy-washy for no reason.
Also, they all chase her. They chase Betty when she leaves, but then they like leave her alone at school.
Yeah. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish.
What were they trying to accomplish by chasing her?
I don't know. Because, we already mentioned earlier, they're trying to convince her to join.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But I think with it makes you show like how inconsistent it can kind of be with Cheryl's character too, because she is super like, now it's back to like self-centered Cheryl and like center of attention Cheryl, whereas like we'd kind of lost that a lot along the way. And it only like popped back up when her and Toni were having like a pissing contest over the pretty poisons. And then now it's back. So it just showed like that it is kind of like in and out all the time. But it makes sense for the Cheryl that we do know from,
she cares about prom.
Exactly. She cares about being
liked too.
Yes.
Like being voted prom queen, because when you start the show, she's like, oh, people only came to my birthday party because it was Jason's birthday party.
She wants peer validation.
She wants validation, and she wants to be seen as a person.
And so it's also like, why did she ever get along with the as we mentioned before, why would she ever get along with the farm? Because she's too headstrong for this, because she's also like, I don't want people telling me what to do.
Which is exactly like what she says then. So you're like, what's been happening, girl?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I wish we could have followed. I wish we'd followed Cheryl more on her journey with the farm, because I think then this stuff would maybe make more sense if they'd actually like plotted it out in that way.
Yeah. The checks they're cashing does not equal the amount of investment that we've seen of like Cheryl. She doesn't seem like she's that indoctrinated.
No. The Black Hood attacks Betty. That's her dad.
Yeah.
And he's been in a jail cell. I'm like, has he been doing crunches the whole time? Because like, you should be able to outrun this man, I'd think.
What else are you gonna do?
I don't know. I'm like, why attack Betty? What's he trying to do with Betty? What's his goal with Betty?
As the same with like Betty. Betty's like, why?
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck, Dad?
You were trying to like seduce me to the dark side last season, and now you're trying to kill me?
Question mark?
After I got you moved?
Yeah, I helped you. What are you trying to do?
Ungrateful.
Yeah, is he just trying to take her with him?
I don't know.
It's really weird. So, yeah, we get that. And then we get the boxing plot line, which is completely unrelated.
No, yeah.
And we have Veronica versus Hiram behind the scenes with Pops and the ownership and all of that, and bringing Archie in on that. And I like this because, once again, it overlaps our characters and their storylines, and it makes it interesting again. And I love the fact that Veronica's like, let me invest.
Yes.
I love a girly with a portfolio.
Absolutely.
She wants something on the south side.
Oh, right. It is on the south side. Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah. And we, Archie, he's good at bringing the boys together. He's good at taking care of them, but he needs that extra layer to make things nice and run well. He needs that manager.
He needs someone to tell him what they're doing.
He needs a producer.
Exactly. But I think other than that, we touched on the military aspects. We touched on his mom, and we've touched on how Fangs is everywhere before. Fangs is like, I was going to fight. I'm getting cold. And it's like...
He's also the janitor he's trying to fix the toilets. It's like, how are you splitting your time?
He's everywhere.
He's so Julia.
And yet they don't recruit him, or they don't recruit Archie for the farm.
No.
Weird.
Yeah.
Or Mad Dog.
Yeah. Well, see, that's exactly what you were saying earlier about Edgar,
Mm-hmm.
Competition, and they could probably overpower him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying Edgar's not strong, but I'm just saying he's not in the boxing ring.
I think there's
He
a
was-
comment in one of the episodes where like Betty says that Evelyn had been like trying to recruit Archie during the play or whatever.
Oh, really?
I think
missed
there was
that.
like an offhanded comment. I could be making that up.
That's funny.
But it's not explicitly shown, so it's not helpful at all.
Yeah.
You know? It's very weird,
It is.
but it's a good time.
Yeah, had a good time.
Any other thoughts?
No. So we are it'll be the end of season 3, and then we'll switch back over to Sabrina for season 2 before we jump into season 4. So we'll go through all of October.
Yeah, spooky season with Sabrina.
Spooktober with exactly. So
I like
it'll
that.
line up just perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, because I think that's 8 episodes in the second season. So
Perfect.
yeah. We'll have to double check that, but if my number's off. Either way, it might bleed in 1 week to November.
We can keep the spooky going.
Yeah.
Have you looked around outside? It's always spooky.
Yeah, this is at least fun spooky.
Yeah.
Spirit Halloween spooky.
Spooky, intentional.
That's right. But you can find this podcast on all your audio podcast platforms of choice at Dead Ends. You can also find us on YouTube for the video version at dead_ends. Our artwork is created by Vendrinic, and you can find their link to their Tumblr in all the episode descriptions. You can also help this podcast by spreading it by word of mouth. We appreciate it. And also on audio platforms, giving us 5 stars and all that good stuff, and subscribing on YouTube. And you can also write us an email or comment on YouTube if you want to like talk to us about anything. The email is deadendspcast@gmail.com. And finally, we're on social media. You can find us on Blue Sky at dead-ends. And at some point, we will make that Instagram we've been talking about for a few weeks now.
We're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
We're going to do it this weekend.
Sure. We're going to do it this weekend.
We won't know if we'll post anything, but we'll do it.
That's right.
All right. Well,
We don't fit in.
and we're not going to fit in.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
There's a little delay.
There's a delay. We love you so much.
Love you so much.